Hello, XLM holders, cryptoFOXXY here. Thank you guys so much for stopping by the channel. So in this video, we're going to have a fun video for today for XLM. We're going to talk about how high the price could potentially go in 2025. I have a few targets for you guys that I want to share. And as always, price predictions are what they are. They are a prediction. They are a guess. And sometimes an educated guess can even go south. So I want you to take this all with a grain of salt, but we're going to have some fun and talk about where I'm at and what my thoughts are around Stellar XLM and where I think the price could head. So let's jump into it in this video. Make sure you guys are logged in, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and follow me on X as well if you're watching over there. I provide content on both platforms. And, guys, I like to talk about Stellar XLM because I see huge potential in this chart. Like, look at this thing, absolutely crazy. So we've got couple of key indicators here on this chart. One of them being here. So these circles in red are the previous bull run price tops. So we see here that this one occurred back 2017, 2018, that area. This one here was back 2021. So this one here, we topped out around that 92-cent area. Back here in 2021, we're about an 80-cent. And right now we are only sitting at about 37 cents as of the recording of this video. So where could we potentially be going in this? So it's a really interesting question because, what I like to do is go back and look at key historical levels, right? In both 2017, 2021, XLM experienced pretty explosive rallies. Like we see those vertical candles going up, shooting up, and it absolutely happened very, very quickly, right? Explosive rallies. So reached about that 90-cent area. For that first run, and then it retraced heavily. We always see those big retraces after bull markets, and those explosive blow off tops obviously come crashing right back down again. People take profits, move on. Some people end up holding the bag, and what I don't want for you guys is to be you guys holding the bag, right? If you're a long-term XLM holder, that's completely fair. But the way that you can rotate some money in crypto, and this is not financial advice whatsoever, this is just me talking, giving you guys some ideas, all right? You take profits, or you exit your position completely, or you can just sit there and hang on and take a look at it 5 years down the road. And there's no shame in doing any of those scenarios. But what I like to do is take profits, and I leave myself with a little bit, because what that does to me is that reminds me to go back and start, and I open my portfolio and I see these coins that I have, remaining tokens left in it, and it reminds me to go back and take a look at the prices every now and then and see where we're at, and maybe take some of my profits and add as we go lower and lower, right? Going through those bear markets is always a good time to load up, and that's what I like to do. So the current structure right now, price sitting, like I said, about 37 cents. And we did have a strong move up earlier in 2025. We actually hit that 60-cent mark right about here, about that 62-cent area. That was back in November 2024. And then even into January in 2025, we were still in that 50-cent range. So we know that this thing can move, and we know that it has the potential to do so. So this mirrors the early mid bull market structure seen in previous crypto cycles. Now, I did put those here in boxes. So actually, when you zoom into some of these, that you can see these movements, right? And then this is on the weekly chart, right? So each one of these candles is a week. So we're taking a look at some of these ups and downs, and then we've got this almost U-shaped move here, and this is a very, very similar structure as to what's going on. And you look at these consolidation phases in between both of these explosive blow off tops here, we can see, look at where these consolidation phases are. They're almost identical and in line. So, are we really thinking that this couldn't go much further? I mean, I think that this has a ton of potential. I mean, look at these bear market consolidations. Like they're very, very similar. Some of these structures, when you zoom in and you take a look at some of these, are very, very similar. And it's playing out nicely. I keep saying that it is playing out nicely. So that stronger move with that 60 cents that we saw back early in, or 50 to 60 cents early in 2025, followed by that consolidation, mirrors exactly what happened previously. Now the resistance levels, we're looking at about 60 to 70 cents. So this is the recent 2025 local top and also the historical resistance. So the local top was about 60 cents. The resistance, historical resistance, sits at about 70 as well. Now, 90 cents to a dollar is the previous cycle top. Beyond that, the psychological and technical zones, we're looking at $1.50 and $2, which are the extension targets. So past cycles, we've saw about a 5 to 10x growth from previous breakout points. So if we treat the 10-cent breakout in late 2024 as the base, like a 5x run, which it hit about 50 cents, and then the 10x run, it would have been to a dollar, which would have been the next major target. So if momentum follows broader crypto cycle trends, like what happened previously, Bitcoin having impact, liquidity inflows, etc., and extensions up to $1.50 and $2 are definitely feasible. Now, realistic end of 2025 targets, we could, a conservative base price could be around 70 to 90 cents. That is if crypto is running okay. Things are looking up. Maybe Bitcoin hits another all-time high. We're doing okay, but we don't get that blow off top, right? Conservatively, like I said, 70 to 90 cents. A more moderate, realistic target, I think we're going to hit $1 to $1.20. I think that's a very, very realistic target that we could potentially see. And this is going to be like a new cycle high, psychological breakout. This is going to have, volume coming in. Bitcoin is obviously hitting a couple all-time highs. And then my aggressive blow off top of the bull market cycle, full bull run extension is going to be about $1.50 to $2 plus. And that's just this cycle. I think Stellar XLM has a ton of room to grow. And obviously I have down the road, $5, $10 predictions in my head. But that's going to be, in my opinion, later down the road. I think, if we get a normal crypto blow off top, $2, honestly, top, that's probably where I'm saying, guys, take your damn profits, because that's going to be when everybody's euphoric and everybody's making money. Everybody's nice to each other. Fear and greed index is like super greed, and you're just like, oh my God, I'm rich and this is never going down. That's when you got to take profits. When everybody else is so excited and thinks that this is never going to go back down, we're never going to see another bear market, this is a super cycle. When you see people start talking like that, then you take your damn profits, because things are most likely going to start to fade away. And then you're going to get into that denial phase. Well, it's going to come back. It's going to come back. Just have a profit taking plan in place, because once things like this happen, it's going to happen so fast that you're not going to have time to think, and you're going to get emotional, and that's what you don't want to do. So, obviously this is a very, a good prediction. In my opinion, I think it's a fairly realistic prediction, and this is what my chart looks like. So, we can see these moves up. I mean, taking a look at my handy little what do you call it, measuring device here on TradingView, we can see 5,600%. You can see back here, so 738%. Now we've got, right now we're only sitting at about 351%. So was that right, the first one that I did? You just double check that again. Yeah. All right, cool. So yeah, I think, dollar is very, very feasible in my opinion. $1.50, but $2, I think that, if we get up around the $1.50, you guys better start watching this very, very closely, because this can go very fast. So, and taking a look at the coin perspective, I like this website because this helps me take a look at realistic price predictions. And when I'm looking at taking profits and making a plan when I'm getting into trading, I'm taking a look at the coin perspective, because what it does is it takes into consideration your supply, how many coins are in circulation, that kind of thing. You've actually put in the coin right here, and then you tell it what your expectations are. So if we hit $1 for XLM, the entire market cap for XLM is going to be sitting at 31.9 billion. That's it. And I say that's it. That's a lot, but seeing the value and the utility and what previous coins in its sector have been doing, 31.9 billion is nothing. It's peanuts, in my opinion. We get up around the $2 mark, like 63 billion. I mean, do you really think that Stellar eventually, down the road could be worth $63 billion? I absolutely do. I think we're probably more along the lines of $5. Oh, no. $5. We get $5, 159.5 billion. But that would be, like I said, maybe next cycle, down the road, so to speak, because the entire crypto market cap is going to have to go up exponentially in order to reach targets like this. But 30 to 60 billion dollars, yeah, I think Stellar XLM is worth, from what it does, from what it accomplishes, and the in its sector, I think it's absolutely feasible. But let me know what you guys think down below. Obviously, I'm just one opinion, and like I said, guys, don't take this as financial advice. This is just me, giving you guys something to think about, especially when you're looking at trading. I don't want you guys to be left sitting on your hands and not ready for what's to come. So let me know what your thoughts and what your targets are for Stellar. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.